We got a lot of feedback here from the audience. Is it okay with you if we share some of the questions?
Maybe.
Okay, I have Laila here. So Laila, what are the questions from the audience?
Hi, I've got a couple of good ones, actually. The first one is, question of the day, how facial trackers will deal with the mandatory masks?
Well, that's an easy one, not for Xovus so much, but maybe I can answer that.
Sure.
It's they have solved the problem. They've solved the problem. So basically, most of them, especially the camera-based ones, they recognize mask. It's a standard feature. The biggest challenge is, can you use existing cameras? And usually they're at an angle, where they're not optimized for they're more optimized for counting, but not so much, or for theft or so, but not so much for mask thing. But it works quite well. It's very easy. Yeah.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, and I think it's a technology challenge, but it's also a societal challenge. And you can have all this technology recognizing that you're wearing a mask or not, but you have to deal with different cultures that are going to, in different jurisdictions are going to be happy to say, oh, sorry, I forgot to put my mask on, or others are they're going to break out into a fist fight over it, as we've started to see, particularly in North America.
Yeah,
that's absolutely true. I'm seeing that as well over here. Depending on which area you are in Europe, of course.
Yeah. Well, you're from Denmark. You don't have to wear a mask, right?
No.
For Laila, was quite new. It was yesterday the first day she was wearing a mask. So we're used for that already for many months. So so even in Europe, we're not far away. There are big differences.
Yeah, but it depends on how you actually handle the COVID situation. And we were quite early and quite fast, and just locked down straight away. So we've been good. Anyways, let's get back to the important ones. So. I have one here. I would be very interested in hearing more about using displays to collect data. What kind of data is collected and what can be done with that?
Dave, you want to start with that?
Well, computer vision driven by AI has been around for a long, long time. And the beginnings of it were to collect data about demographics, age range, gender, that sort of thing, with the idea that could trigger content or give you insights as to your audience. And it's gone much more beyond that. In recent years, there are a whole raft of different solutions out there, and it's getting to a level now where you have companies like Intel that have their own platform called OpenVINO, which is quasi-open source, and other people can use. So we've gone from 10, 15 years ago to a very small handful of companies that have data collection, CV kinds of services and platforms, to it almost being standardized, and I think that's just going to continue. Is that what you're seeing as well?
But Dave, isn't the challenge not so much on collecting data, but getting the right insight of this? But again, I've seen so many have said, oh, yeah, we know you're male or female or so, but most of the clients really couldn't make sense out of it, The digital home guys, most of them couldn't, because you only have a client, for good weather, not for bad weather, and so it was always in the past 10 years we can do it, but it was really missing the business case.
Yeah, I think in the context of retail, which we were just talking about, it's far more interesting to understand how that retail environment changes through a day, where people go, where they dwell. You get these things like heat maps and so on that really give you a solid insight. And I've always felt that one of the most interesting things around computer vision and studying how people are looking at screens is how long do they look, and which ads do they respond to versus which messages do they not respond to. And if you pay close attention to that, start to tweak your content and your messaging to kind of mirror how the audience behaves. Because if you start to sync up with how they're thinking and looking, you're going to do a lot better than throwing 30-second ads at audiences that are walking right by and looking for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, time is running out. Dave, thanks a lot. We have to mention 2 more things. First, you're doing a great podcast thing, so people should really listen to that.
Thank you.
We shouldn't forget that, 69.net. And secondly, we have another Power Hour coming up in August. And this will be really interesting because we're doing behind-the-scene thing of today's show and tomorrow's show, and all the other guys, looking at what works, what doesn't, and to learn from all the hybrid shows which are currently scheduled and all the new innovations, everything going on. So it's mid-August, and that's where Dave and I will host the show again. So Dave, thanks a lot, and I'm a little bit envious of your open door. It looks so nice there. You've seen it in the background. We have here a 100 square meter LED wall, and I can tell you it's emitting a lot of heat.
you're standing in front of a tanning booth, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Dave, thanks a lot. Have a great day to Canada, and thanks for being our host today. Thank you a lot.